Fungi are a broad category of heterotrophic organisms studied in the specific area of mycology. Assalamualaikum and hi! Today, my friends and I would like to share some information about Hericium erinaceus, species that comes from phylum Basidiomycota. To help you understand more about Hericium erinaceus, we must learn about their work. So firstly, let me start with the history of Hericium erinaceus. Hericium erinaceus is a rare fungi genus and considered as a precious edible mushroom all over the world. The taxonomy of this genus has changed significantly throughout the years. In 1780, Jean-Baptiste François Pierre Brulliard, a French botanist and mycologist, gave this mushroom a scientific name as Hydnum erinaceus. Then, in 1797, Christian Hendrik Persson transferred this species to its current genus, Hericium erinaceus. Here in the slides, we can see that the scientific classification of Hericium erinaceus, which is still in use today. This mushroom was known by a variety of names. In Western countries, it has been called lion's mane mushroom because of the resemblance of a lion's mane as they grow. Next, in China, this mushroom is recognized as monkey head mushroom, and in Japan, it is called Yamabushite. Hericium, the genus name, and erinaceus, the specific epithet, both means hedgehog in Latin. That refers to the spiky surfaces of the fungi. Now, let me pass the next presentation to Isa.
Thank you, Husna. My name is Nur Izzah binti Abidin, and now, do you know what Hericium erinaceus or similar to lion mane fungus look like? Hericium erinaceus is about the size of a football, typically about 15 to 20 centimeters, and it can be as big as 30 centimeters across. This tiny beard-like fungus forms a solid cushion-like mold covered with white strands or soft spines that look like fur. The fur body is attached to the substrate, typically on trunks of trees and on fall trees or logs. These dangling fleshy spines, or it is called as an icicle, have pointed tips and range from 1 to 5 centimeters long. The spine's color will turn from white to pale yellow-brown over age. The flesh is white, tough and elastic, and when it is sliced, the color will not change. You might wonder what kind of smell it produces. Well, this fungus has a delicate musky smell when it is young, and it goes stronger and unpleasant as it ages. The lion's mane is an edible mushroom. It has an interesting flavor, somewhat like lobster, shrimp, fish, or tender meat cooked with butter. White lion's mane is best before its spines turn to yellow, as it may develop a bitter flavor with age. The spores can be found on the surface of the spines, and it is broadly magnified, almost round about 5 to 6 times 4 to 5.5 micrometer in size, smooth to roughened with dots, colorless, and the small grain is white. Let us see into details. This is the microscopic feature of the Hericium erinaceus spores. As you can see, the shape is globose to subglobose or subellipsoid. Gloeoglorous hyphae present, sometimes expanding into hymenium to become cystidia. Now, let us see more about this diagram. As you can see, A is the mature basidia on a dead wood of Canthus carolinensis. B shows a lot more detail of the basidia. C is the hyphal system under the microscope, and D shows a thick wall contactual hyphae. Here is a diagram shows the two sport basidia. Alright, now I will pass the presentation to Husna, by which she will explain further about this fungus habitat and ecosystem.
Thank you, Isa. Now, let's see the habitat and ecosystem for Hericium erinaceus. This lion's mushroom is a lignicolous saprophyte. Lignicolous fungus is fungi that not only grow on wood but penetrate the wood's fibrous structure and lead to deterioration. Saprophytic is organism that obtain nutrients from dead and decaying organic matter. Hericium erinesis can be found in North America, East Asia, India, and Europe, primarily in northern temperate latitudes, excluding tropical and polar regions. It is rare in United Kingdom. This species is commonly found in deciduous and sclerophyllous forests, especially in beech, oak, elm, and walnut trees. It may grow on coniferous trees like fir and hemlock trees. Other than that, Hericium erinesis can grow on high living tree, trunks, stumps, fallen tree deadwood, and huge branches of standing trees, and has also been found to sprout on sawdust piles. From early summer to late fall seasons, the mushrooms are commonly visible. In the Britain and Ireland, it is from July through November. Hericium erinesis grows best in humid environments with 85 to 90% relative humidity in the air and mild temperature ranging from 18 to 26 degrees Celsius. The most favorable incubation temperature for the mycelial growth of Hericium erinesis was determined to be 25 degrees Celsius, whereas the ideal temperature for vegetative growth was 26 degrees Celsius. Besides, this lion's mane mushroom require water potential that has a rating of more than -5 MPa. Now, Amira will talk about life cycle of Hericium erinesis.
Thank you, Husna. Now, I will proceed with the life cycles of lion's mane mushroom. At first, a mushroom releases millions of tiny spores into the air, each one with half the genetic code necessary for a new mushroom. Next, in the right conditions, a spore germinates, growing thread-like structures called hyphae through the soil. Then, as hyphae come into contact with each other, they will start to combine. The hyphae fuse with hyphae from a compatible spore to form a tree with a complete genetic code called mycelium. After that, the fused hyphae eventually form a hyphal knot that develops into a pinhead, then sprouts and grows into a new mushroom. So next, I will pass to the next speaker, which is Aisha Zakia.
Thank you, Amira. Now, let me elaborate on lion's mane mushroom's nutrient requirement. The lion's mane mushroom has no chlorophyll, therefore they cannot gain energy from sun to make their own food. Instead, they rely on plants and plant remains as food. Hericium erinaceous nutrition requirement can be divided into three main components, which are macronutrients, micronutrients, and bioactives. Carbohydrates, proteins, fats, water, and fiber are included in the macronutrients. Proteins are rich in amino acids, which contributes to the sweet taste of the mushroom. Carbohydrates are abundant in the mushroom, which include polysaccharides and disaccharides, which provide energy when consumed. The lion's mane mushroom has low fat content, making it a healthy food. The fats include sterols, fatty acids, and linoleic acid. It is also high in water contents, about 90 grams in a serving of 100 grams. However, it contains small amount of fibers, which is less than 4% of the content. Hericium erinaceous has vast amounts of micronutrients, including potassium, phosphorus, copper, zinc, iron, and selenium. These minerals contribute to optimum and healthy growth of the fungi. They are also rich in vitamin B, C, and D. When consumed, they promote various health benefits to humans, such as regulating blood pressure and lowering cholesterol level. The lion's mane mushroom has rich bioactive substances, which means they can have biological effect on a living organism. This mushroom has erinacines, which have antioxidant properties, as well as polysaccharides and sterols. Alright, that is all from me. I shall pass this presentation to Aida.
Many illnesses that are caused by neurodegenerative disorders, which include but are not limited to dementia, Alzheimer's disease, and Parkinson's disease. These diseases are caused by the death of neurons throughout the nervous system. The death of neurons in different areas of the brain cause different symptoms.
Regeneration of neurons could be achieved using the growth factor, which are proteins that support the growth and maintenance of neurons. In a study published in 2010 by the journal Ecology, it found arenaceae to be successful in animal trees at regenerating damaged nerves, meaning that the components found in arenaceae that help with the regeneration of neurons could potentially aid in slowing down or reversing the effect of degenerative disease of the brain. Neurodermalocidum is used in the treatment of liver disease, hypertonia, arthritis, asthma, and stomach ulcer. The anti-cancer properties of polysaccharides are enhanced by the presence of proteins. Lignins obtained from the culture of lentiviral adults are being investigated as potential drugs in the treatment of hepatitis B and AIDS. The polysaccharides produced by shiitake in lentiviral adults are also characterized by immunomodulatory effects and are used in chemoprevention and as an adjunct in cancer therapy, also alleviating the undesirable effects of chemotherapy. It could be a common mental disease that affects the method you are feeling, think, and act. This complaint will be acute and caused by outside circumstances or chronic and while not a plain cause. The main goal of lion's mane mushroom is to stay your body in a very state of equilibrium, whether or not, which means lowering your sugar levels or increasing your dopamine levels. Here's how, however, this helpful mushroom will stabilize dopamine and the way dopamine affect depression. A 2018 study checked out the underlying mechanism of antidepressant effects of Hericium genus Erinaceus in mice. The result confirmed that once the mice were under net stress, their dopamine level remained. However, upon taking lion's mane, their dopamine level stabilized despite the fact that there have been no changes in their levels of stress. This means that lion's mane might be answerable for the increase in dopamine level, so additional human analysis is required. Research on the medicine effects of lion's mane shows that this mushroom considerably improves depressive disorder and will be used as an alternate to ancient antidepressants.
There are findings by a researcher named Nagano suggest that H. erinaceus may be beneficial for people who suffer from circadian rhythm disorder by restoring expression of BDNF, which is a protein in brain, and tyrosine receptor kinase B, which help in alleviating sleep problem while improving the quality of life for people who lead an unhealthy or non-productive lifestyle by habitually staying up late and also sleeping in. To conclude, we are grateful to be given a chance to explore and learn more based on our syllabus. Knowing more of these species, it feels like a blessing as we humans are able to benefit a lot from it.